Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another ranking video. This one's ranking the top 10 worst episodes to ever be made for Fear the Walking Dead. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for Fear the Walking Dead, and in today's video we're going to be doing another ranking video. This one's going to be going over the top 10 worst ever episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. Continuing on with our ranking videos, I think we got another 2 maybe ranking videos left for Fear the Walking Dead, and then we're going to be closing this thing out. Fear the Walking Dead content will be over on the channel, but this one was definitely one that I wanted to go ahead and do because obviously we did the top 10 best episodes of the show. And unfortunately saying it's actually easier for this show to do a top 10 worst episodes than a top 10 best. I'm not going to lie, this list was very, very easy to make, and I didn't have to think too long about it, to be honest. Now, I will tell you this right now as well, too. There are more than 10 episodes that I don't like from this show. As a matter of fact, I could probably pull together a top 25, top 30 even, of bad episodes from Fear, and that even may not be enough. So, but again, we're doing a top 10 because I don't want to overcomplicate things, but point being, there are a lot of bad episodes of this show, so this video, even my number 10 is like a very despised episode. So, Fear has put out some bad content over the years. Now it's time to highlight that. We highlighted their best work. Now it's time to highlight their worst work. So, love to hear your list in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get into some honorable mentions. We got 3. Starting off with Season 7, Episode 11. Now, this episode, oh my dear God, man, this episode was so bad. This one's called Ophelia. This one is basically about Daniel. He's like wandering around looking for his wife that he's confused about, who he thinks is alive, in a Abigail yacht, which is not even the actual yacht. It's not even the real Abigail, but he thinks it is because he's confused. So the whole episode, he goes on this killing spree while looking for his daughter that's not even actually there. The episode visually looks horrible. It looks like it's covered in piss the whole time. Like, honestly, this episode, there's really nothing redeeming about it. Wes flips on the group randomly because Luciana lies to a confused old man, which that's another problem in and of itself. Luciana lies to Daniel because she wants to use him as leverage against Strand while he's confused. Like, horrible, horrible, horrible person type of move right there. I can't even believe Luciana and Daniel are like a daughter-father type of role after she just did that shit to him. I seriously cannot believe that even happened. And then Wes just decides, like, you guys are terrible, so because Luciana lied to Daniel, that means you guys are all horrible, so I'm going to leave the group. And I'm going to go join Victor, even though Victor's just as shitty of a person as everybody else. Like, I don't understand the episode's logic. There is no logic behind it, let's put it that way. And it's visually horrible. The writing is terrible. It's awful. And then another one is 608. This one's called The Door. Now, for some reason, this one is actually kind of a liked episode from fans. I will never understand that. It butchers John Dorie. He literally wants to kill himself the whole episode, which is not in his character at all. Not to mention, it's a really boring, draggy bicker fest between Morgan and John the whole time. And then you find out Dakota actually killed Ranger Cameron, which is kind of just like, okay, that's fine, you know what I mean? Like, Dakota being a messed up, crazy psycho kid, I don't even mind. It's the fact that she kills him in the way that she does for the story, and they make you believe that John is going to survive the bullet, and then he just shows up at the cabin zombified in front of June. And they recycle Nick's death music. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, such a shitty episode. They butchered John Dorie, and it was horrible. It was terrible. And then my last honorable mention is Divine Providence, Season 7, Episode 14. Simply for the reason that we build up to this fight throughout the whole season about, Strand and Alicia, just to then get Strand that randomly flips to a good guy, and then Wes takes over his group within like 2 days of being inside of the tower. How the fuck does he take over his squad? And then randomly, Victor turns good, kills Wes, but then Alicia's mad at him, so then them two fight it out the whole time. Like, there's no battle. Dwight and the rest of them just stand outside of the tower doing jack shit the whole episode. And then by the end of the episode, the tower is set on fire, and Alicia gets the brilliant idea to be like, your sanctuary is right here. This burning tower that's up in smoke, come to this sanctuary safe haven and stay at a place called Padre, even though there is a known place called Padre, but we're the real Padre. Like, Get the fuck out of here. That episode was so friggin' dumb. But that's just the honorable mentions, y'all. So let's get into the actual top 10. This, oh my god, this shit is gonna get heated. I'll tell you one thing right now. Number 10 is then gonna go to season 7, episode 10, Morning Cloak. Or as I like to say, Morning Coke, because I feel like the writers were on coke.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What the fuck is going on with this shit? You got a filler-ass episode with Charlie and this guy named, what the hell is his name? Ali, I think is his name. And anyway, basically, the mission of this episode is to go find a butterfly that is a very rare butterfly called the Morning Cloak. And they make it out to seem like a really rare thing. And then randomly he just goes out there and finds a whole bunch of these fucking things just around a tree. Like seriously, what the hell? I thought you just said they were rare. Also, who gives a shit about Strand's butterfly collection? They're gonna die in a year's time anyway. Like, I don't understand that. And it's filler, guys. The whole episode's filler. Charlie never even dies. We find that out in season 8. So this whole radiation thing is dumb as hell anyway. And, Ali is just a waste of time. He just dies and he's like never mentioned again. Like, the episode is filler. It's absolute filler, and I'll never understand it. Not to mention, this whole bullshit of, like, Ali, he locks Charlie into the elevator, but then he goes back for her, and then they kiss, and all this bullshit. Like, it's so stupid. And the worst part is that it's filler in the end. That's what makes it really bad. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Number 9 is then going to be season 8, episode 5, More Time Than You Know. We are dealing with an 8-year-old child that is abandoned by her father to take care of a woman that is bit and weak, and literally drag her to a train car that is guarded by Padre guards. Meanwhile, Morgan leaves his daughter to distract these guards, even though none of these guards follow Morgan. They guard the train anyway. And we are focusing on radiation surgery here. And, trying to cure a bit woman that's already infected and that's already slowly dying of radiation poisoning. But we're going to give her more, and she's infected by enough said. The episode is stupid. There is no logic behind this shit at all. Not to mention, you've got Shrike that's like, Morgan, I want you to help me clear out this, Padre container or whatever full of zombies. Meanwhile, my men are going to shoot at you and potentially kill you, but we're going to wait and see if you'll accept the deal. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this show? Seriously, this is so stupid. Number 8 is then going to go to season 8, episode 10. Oh my god, this one's bad. This one's titled Keeping Her Alive. We literally skip a battle with Troy. We finally get to a battle with Troy, and we skip over it. Madison looks for Alicia the whole episode just to find out that it's Tracy's mother. Tracy, the whole episode, leads them on. You've got Madison that's willing to kill a child because she's so in a pissy mood about Alicia. You got Victor flip-flopping the whole episode. You've got Alicia's, fan club that walk up in the frickin', SWAT vehicle and save Strand's life. And you've got, the stupid line where Strand's like, I thought you were, and she's like, Alicia Clark? I get that a lot. I'm like, you look nothing like Alicia. What the fuck are you talking about? Seriously. I don't understand this at all. And like I said, man, they really butchered it. And this is what makes this episode so bad. When the writers skip past a battle and they clearly don't care, why should I care? You know what I mean? If they don't care to show us the battle, why should I give a shit? You know what I'm saying? Enough said. Number 7 is then going to go to season 8, episode 11, Fighting Like You. Oh my god, man. This episode is honestly even worse. It's bar none the worst episode of the final season. You have Troy Otto that is now treated as a dummy that is hurt in a car wreck. And you've got Troy that then goes on with Madison throughout the whole episode, saves her life, explains all this tragic bullshit, just for us to find out that, Madison doesn't believe Troy, and she kills him in cold blood after he just saved her life. After the whole thing went down, Madison clearly was alright with him, and then she just kills him like he's nothing, in front of his daughter on top of that. Absolutely. Anybody that tells me Madison Clark is a good character, watch this shit right here. Seriously. The fact she's going to kill a little girl, and then also in this episode, she kills a dad in front of her daughter. And then we find out, wait a minute, Tracy is not Troy's daughter. That's right, it's Alicia's daughter. But then we find out later on that it actually is Troy's daughter, and it isn't Alicia's daughter. The writing is so shit. Not to mention, Crane comes back in this, big frickin' boat with, a couple side guys on the side. and they just randomly get killed. He randomly just gets taken out with a group from like a group of walkers, and that's it. Crane just dies. He comes back to get eaten alive for 2 seconds. Like, it's so friggin' trash. I'll never understand the writing behind this show. I'll never understand it. Coming in at number 6 is then going to be Season 6, Episode 12, In Dreams. Now, I feel like this is going to be the episode that a lot of people disagree with in the list. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, Dan, this episode is like a masterpiece. This episode is like phenomenal. At least in my eyes, this is what I would say. I can't stand the dream sequence. It makes absolutely zero sense, especially because Grace randomly in this episode somehow just knows that Tina is like the name of like Sherry's like sister or whatever, and like she has it in her mind that Dwight and Sherry named their kid Tina, you know what I mean? And not to mention, you've got a whole bunch of waste of time. You've got like Athena throughout the whole episode, bunch of plot holes. You got like Morgan and Grace that like visit Grace's like gravestone or whatever, and he's like, I thought you died, you know? You got Morgan wandering around with a big friggin' afro like Morgan Freeman over here. You got the friggin' pink land all over the place. It gets really draining really fast. Not to mention in the current timeline, you've got Riley that's going after Morgan and Grace. Somehow Grace is just injured. They skip over that. They don't tell you how they got into a car wreck. They don't tell you how anything happened. They're just like, oh yeah, Riley and the cult, they came after them, you know? And they were trying to get to June's hospital because Grace was in labor. We don't show that because this show doesn't show shit, but apparently that's what they were doing, you know what I mean? And anyway, he's trying to wake Grace up the whole time, and somehow Grace, get me this right, somehow Grace knows exactly what Riley looks like, even though her eyes were closed the whole time. In her dream, she knows exactly what he looks like, and she kills him brutally. What the fuck is even the logic behind this episode? Seriously. Not to mention, look, I'll give them this, all right? They do have a stillborn this episode. I know it's dark. I know it's tragic. That's one thing I'll give it. But the journey getting there is horrendous. Not to mention, Riley comes in there, attacks Morgan and, you know, Grace, and all for a key that he's trying to get to launch the nukes, right? Which we now know. But, like, Riley just gets, like, stabbed in the side and then, like, starts, like, hobbling away. It's like, well, weren't you there to fight him? Like, weren't you there to get the key? Like, what are you doing running off like a little pansy? Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I think the episode is goofy as hell. It's actually cringeworthy at a lot of times, and I feel like this will definitely be the biggest episode of the list that people argue about, but I can't stand the episode. I cannot stand this episode whatsoever. Number 5 is then going to go to Season 7, Episode 4, Breathe With Me. Now, you want to know why this got into my top 5? Well, I'll make it pretty simple. The writers obviously do not give a shit about Sarah because they wrote her out of the story. The writers obviously do not give a shit about Josiah because they wrote him out of the story. And you guys know how much I can't stand Sarah. I'm sorry to say, and I don't mean anything against the actress when I say this, I will never be able to be captivated in a Sarah bottled off episode. The actress is awful, okay? Like, her performance is awful. And again, you know, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, she can't act, Mo Collins can't act. Look, she probably can act in other things. But in this character, in this role, I'll never get captivated. It's so bad. Like, literally, in the opening scene, she's like, Althea, Luciana, all of you guys, Daniel, get out of my way before I kill you, okay? Get out of my way before I kill you. And it's like, what? Like, seriously, what is this performance, first of all? Second off, you've got Wendell that's just randomly disappeared. Somehow his wheelchair is in one location, but then he's all the way in the frickin' tower, which you confirm later. And you've got Josiah, who is a gimmicky twin brother of Emil, which is just so cringeworthy to me. And you've got, like, that laughable scene where they crash in their vehicle. Morgan comes and, like, saves them and all this stuff. And then Morgan just looks at him and he's like, hey, I thought I killed you. He swings the axe. I'm like, what the fuck kind of dialogue is this shit? Like, this one, to me, is honestly, like, one of the worst episodes of the whole show. It's so horrendous. You've got Sarah as the lead, one of my least favorite characters of all of Fear. You've got cringy dialogue, and Josiah and Sarah are just written off the show anyway. Not to mention, you're stuck in radiation. Like, oh my god. Honestly, my worst nightmare of a Fear episode, a bottled off Sarah episode, a character that gets written off anyway. You've got cringy dialogue, radiation all over the place. I mean, does it get worse? Actually, yes, somehow it does. The next 4. Number 4 is then going to go to Season 7, Episode 8. This one's titled Padre. Oh my dear God. They fucked Alicia up in this episode. They fucked her up bad. Like, she literally is covering this walker in a whole bunch of white, like, whatever the fuck. I don't even know. And she's getting a walker to lead her and Morgan to Padre. A walker that's dead as hell and doesn't know where the hell he is. He thinks he's in magical fairyland, but for some reason Alicia thinks that he's going to be able to get her to Padre. Like, what the fuck does she think he's going to do? He's just going to, like, start talking to her like, guys, we got to take this trail right here. We got to go this way to Padre. We got to take this river across the Merry Way. Like, the walker doesn't fucking speak, idiot. Like, you don't fucking know this shit. Like, Alicia should know this shit. I don't understand what's going on. And don't even give me this excuse of like, oh, well, she chopped her hand off and now she's delusional. Duh. Alicia's breathing, ain't she? She's alive. She's saying full sentences. I think she knows what she's talking about. Why does she think a walker is going to lead her to Padre? Like, I don't understand. Not to mention, you got these stupid flashbacks with Will. She gets bit on the hand and then keeps, like, these bones on her freaking, like, weapon. And, like, she wonders why she's sick and passing out all the time. Maybe it's because you got a whole bunch of bones, like, rotten freaking bones with rotten meat on it, on your freaking hand. Like, seriously, it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And not to mention, this whole rivalry between Strand and Alicia is so bad. And then they play on this whole thing like, Morgan, I don't know how much time I have left, so I gotta do what I can't do. You're gonna have to do what I can't do. Like, oh my God, man. Do these writers not learn? Seriously, these writers just don't learn. Number 3 is then going to go to 515, Channel 5. Holy shit, man. Honestly, it don't get worse than this. Well, it does. There's 2 more. But this episode is dumb. You literally filmed the whole thing through a video camera. We now have video wars in the apocalypse. You've got Virginia and her crew setting up this cringy commercial. Meanwhile, Morgan and them are setting up their cringy commercial. And they're fighting back and forth on who has a better commercial. And somehow Virginia takes clips of Morgan and them's tape and edits it in her video. Who the fuck is doing this shit? Who has access to these videos? Like, seriously, like, how is this even possible? I don't understand. And you've got, like, Tom that just randomly falls off the bridge like an idiot, even though he has perfectly enough time to get away. You've got them wandering around, and by the end of the episode, they're like, Virginia, we need your help. Even though you've been insisting that you don't need her help, now you need her help, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable writing. Number 2 is then going to go to Season 4, Episode 16. This one is titled, I Lose Myself. I pretty much did watching this episode. I'll tell you that right now. I don't even know where to even describe this one. Like, seriously, the whole season, we're building to Morgan taking our crew to Alexandria. And by the end of it, he decides, after a long, dragged-out process of, for some reason, thinking that Martha is worth saving, even though she gets you in a car wreck, draws on your face, and screams like an idiot, you somehow think that that's a good idea to split off from your group on your lonesome, mind you, and then she does that to you. Like, are you serious? And he doesn't even kill her. He leaves her for dead. Are you fucking shitting me right now? And he then looks at the group at the very end, after they got poisoned, and they're all fucked up and all this shit, and they're like, all right, let's go to Alexandria, a safe place. And he's like, no, we're not going there. We're going to stay back in Texas and leave boxes on the side of the road. Even though you can help people on your way to Alexandria. So it makes no fucking sense. Why would you set up in this shitty factory to begin with? But the worst episode of Fear the Walking Dead, bar none, the worst episode, and I think it's an easy win. This is the 100th episode of the show. It's the final episode for a very major character. It's the end of a season. It's the penultimate to an episode to a season, right? And this is what they give us for our 100th episode. Alicia waking up, passing out, waking up, passing out, waking up, passing out, going into a burning tower to save a drunken Strand. Somehow they teleport from the tower all the way down to the SWAT vehicle where drunk Strand can barely even walk. Same thing with Alicia. But somehow they manage to get to the end wrap. And then they manage to get back to the others. You've got Dwight and, like, June and the others that are running after Alicia the whole episode being like, are you waking up? Are you waking up? Oh my God. Like, and you got this stupid young little girl that's, like, following Alicia around the whole episode being like, you don't know who I am. If you only knew, you would not be acting like this. She takes off the friggin' mask and she's just like, it's me, Alicia. I'm the young version of you. It's like, wow, I didn't see that coming 10 minutes before. Like, seriously. And you got that stupid scene where you got like Strand that gets in the raft and she like looks at him and she's like, Strand, you have to go because I got to do this on my own. Even though everybody's in the rafts, there's no reason for you to stay back, but you're going to stay back anyway. And he's like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. Woo!
I'm not gonna go.
You have to go.
I'm not gonna go.
You have to go.
What the fuck, man? Seriously, what is this writing? What is this acting even too? And what is this for a 100th episode? Like, this is so bad. And then she passes out, wakes up a couple hours just to find out that the fever is gone and she's perfectly fine. Which means that if she went in the raft with Strand and just took a nap for a few minutes, she probably would have been fine. You know what I mean? And that's what they basically tell you. That is not how you write a character off a show. That is not how you write a character at all. That's not how you do a penultimate. It's not how you do a 100th episode. It's not how you do anything. It's terrible. It's bar none the worst episode the Walking Dead universe has put out. 100%. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section below. What are your least favorite episodes of Fear the Walking Dead? Man, what a rough show. Seriously. We got one more ranking, which is the top 10 worst characters of Fear the Walking Dead, and then I think that'll relatively be it for the Fear videos, so I thank you all for your support on the Fear content, thank you all for watching, and of course, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys, and of course, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos for the Walking Dead universe, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for the Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.